Hello everyone, happy Friday. It is 4:30 and it's time for Weather Impacts Live. We're just breaking down your forecast as we look forward into the weekends. There are so many events going on this weekend, so of course we want to give you the latest forecast. We are expecting rain finally, right? We've been waiting for the rain to arrive, but the heaviest of rain looks like it will hold off for quite some time. So let's break down the forecast going over into our local conditions right now. Live look around our beautiful cameras that we have the privilege of seeing every day, downtown Tampa all the way to Clearwater Beach. We do have a couple clouds out there. You may have noticed it's a little bit more humid for today, and that's reflected in that cloud cover that has been increasing. They are higher clouds, but yeah. At times it's a kind of a high cloud, and then we also have those puffy little cumulus clouds that have been forming as well. Overall, not a bad day, though. It is just on the warmer side. Speaking of those temperatures, let's bring them up and see how we're feeling. We are in the upper 70s at this time, closer to the coast, and then we have some low 80s that are hanging on. Lakeland, they had that big parade last night. They are sitting at 84 degrees right now, pretty toasty out that way. Frostproof, you know, Frostproof gets its name for a reason, right? Also sitting at 84, and then we have some lower 80s across those interior locations, Wauchula, Arcadia, Bartow sitting at 83. Let's go to a tour of the coast now. Brooksville, Newport Richey, you guys are sitting in those upper 70s, and it looks like Homosassa a little bit cooler at 76. Down in Sarasota, 77. So yeah, it's a nice day to take a walk along the beach, kind of get some relief from the slight stickiness that we have in the air. As far as temperature change from 24 hours ago, it's not that big of a difference, right? Because we've slowly had this warmer air, I almost said cooler air, warmer air filtering in. We did have a few cooler mornings, but now we're kind of getting on the warm side of that front ahead of our rainmaker that will be on the way for this weekend. So that's basically the warm air that's kind of surging in ahead of the skies opening up here. So low temperatures this morning, again, pretty close to average. We started off our morning in the upper 50s, low 60s, and we had some milder marks in places like Sarasota starting off your morning, your Friday morning. With temperatures in the mid 60s. Also into the dew point change, again, that's probably something that you will notice. The dew points, unlike the air temperature, are way, way higher than what they were yesterday. We're talking a 10 to 15 degree increase in those dew points, so that's why it feels a little bit more humid and sticky outside. Not terrible, certainly nothing comparable to our summertime months, but definitely different, not that dry air mass that we had on the backside of our fronts earlier in the week. All right, so getting into the surface map. What do we have going on? We have that front that we're patiently waiting for. And yeah, it's exciting because my graphic's loading, so it's just going to take a second. It's an exciting time because this is our dry season. It's very hard to get rain for us this time of the year. Didn't pull up the surface map quite yet. I wanted to show you those clouds that have been racing in. Again, with all that rising buoyant air, that's when you start to see more cloud cover in the sky, just water vapor, right? That's what it breaks down to. And I will be talking about our threats for some fog going into tonight as well because of all that warm, moist air that's kind of overriding our atmosphere at this time. Okay, getting into the surface map, expanding things. They have had that stalled out front closer to the panhandle since yesterday. They have been getting rounds and rounds of rain in the panhandle area. Let's take a little radar tour here. And it's great because these are areas that have really been lacking the rainfall more so than what we have here. Of course, we are under a level of drought, but they really have been hurting for not only the Florida Panhandle, but also places like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the southern end of those states, also sitting in that extreme to exceptionally dry category. But this is a loop of the radar from the past 2 hours. And yeah, they have some pretty hefty downpours that have been trying to move onshore. Some of that did fall apart. Panama City is a good example of that, where they had some heavier rain in the northern Gulf there. And then once it got to that area, you know, it turned more into a moderate, steadier rain. But hey, rain is rain, right? Take it and, you know, add up those totals because we really could use them. Also, in the northern end, just north of Lake City, Jasper, anybody that's traveling today, if you have any weekend plans, this is the time of the year when you're visiting all family members, right? Try to squeeze somebody in every weekend. if you have a large family. So if you're someone that's driving across I-95 there, or excuse me, I-75, and moving up to the north, cutting across, and this is just north of I-4, so there's I-75, and then once you move north of that, you can see that rain really moving in. Some lightning out there earlier as well. And this is moving over toward our friends on the First Coast. So they have been talking about rain in their region, although not quite as dry on the east side of Florida. And that's because, if you remember, this tropical storm season, we've had so many tropical systems in the Atlantic that they've had some extra moisture splash their way compared to us here on the Gulf Coast. All right, so getting into, let me see if I can pull up the drought monitor for you. Here it is. This kind of ties hand in hand with those drought conditions I was just mentioning. So every week our drought monitor is released on Thursdays. It's actually, the cutoff time is Tuesday. So any rain that we would have received Wednesday, not really going to help us out on this particular drought monitor. But you can see that places like Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, portions of Pasco, Hernando, all covered under that severe level of drought now, has been upgraded to that level. And that is highlighted in the orange there. Then we have that area of moderate drought, which has been extended out to the east more. And then, of course, abnormally dry conditions, which keeps creeping in closer to places like Orlando that currently is not under a level of drought. So here's the thing with this. As I just mentioned a few moments ago, they had a little bit more moisture this season because of the tropics, whereas us, we were sitting drier. We didn't really have that surplus of rain. So they're currently not under drought. But if it continues where they don't really get a ton of rain, that could change and it could become abnormally dry. Then moving up toward the Panhandle and the northern side of the state, you see that maroon color. That is when it gets exceptionally dry. That is the highest tier of drought. So that's not good. Those are the areas that really need to catch up on the rainfall. They are behind their year-to-date totals and month-to-date totals. Now, November is typically our driest month. So keep that in mind. November's over, now we're rolling into December, but December's usually pretty dry too. Here in Tampa, we usually have for the entire month about 2 inches of rain. Now the good news is, heading into this upcoming weekend, we could have 2 inches of rain over the next couple of days collectively, which would be great, because if we got 2 inches of rain in some locations, that would really be the totals for the month, how much rainfall we usually get for the month of December. So that would kind of start us off on the right foot here, just 5 days into the month. Speaking of those year-to-date rainfall deficits across our area, Tampa, we're behind 9 inches. You can round that up if you want, but 9 inches is a solid number. Winter Haven, more than a foot of rain is needed. Brooksville, really, really dry. This is when you start getting into those severe level drought categories, of course. 17 inches of rain in the hole, so we need to really catch up for places like Brooksville. Good news is this front that will be on the way, getting back to that surface map, that will deliver some rain to us, but we gotta wait for it, right? It's not really on the way to us until Sunday. Now, because of all the moisture that's surging in ahead of this front, we will have a few showers come Saturday, but this main line that you see that's draped across the state here, that's really not sinking southward until the end of the weekend. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll walk through future casts together and talk about how much rain we could receive. Looking forward to it.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, welcome back. So just trying to get some of my graphics together to here to show you guys our chance of rain as we move into this upcoming weekend. Now, keep in mind here that Florida is a very particular microclimate, right? If you want to think of it like that. During the summertime, it rains every day, right? And then we get into this time of the year where we are just begging for rain. So that's the point that we're at now. Now, when it comes to weather impact alerts, that's something that we do here in-house to give you a little heads up when it comes to, doesn't necessarily have to be severe weather, but when it comes to having some rain in our forecast, it may impact your plans. And this weekend, we have a lot of things going on. If you can't find something to do this weekend, well, you know, you need to check your calendar and your local community calendar, because I feel like every town has something going on that's holiday related. Maybe you don't like the holidays, that's okay. But hey, even if you're taking a walk outside or just having a little staycation, we have rain this weekend. That's my point. Now, the standards for the rain in the fall, a little bit different than the summertime. If we were talking summertime weather and we had a 40% shot of rain, we'd be like, you know, because that's really not a lot for us during the summer months. But this time of the year, 40%, hey, we're all about it. That's very promising, right? So Saturday, we're looking at that 40% chance of rain. That's throughout the day. Now, we will have one little mini line move through for the start of Saturday morning. And then throughout the afternoon, it looks like those rain chances are harder to come by. The models have been very back and forth on the timing for Saturday. And one of the main reasons for that, the models being back and forth, is because that main front really isn't moving through yet. In order to produce a nice rain, especially during drought season, right, we need some lift, we need some instability, warmer temperatures, and that cooler air that would be on the back side of the front, that helps create that lift, right? We already have the buoyancy from the warm air. Warm air is more buoyant than cooler air, right? But if we get that front, a nice significant front, that's when we have better rain chances. That's when we have better opportunity for storms. Most of the time, those fronts fall apart before they make their way down south to Tampa or southward of that. So Saturday will be more scattered because the front doesn't move through yet. Now Sunday, 60% chance, but that's really holding off until Sunday night. Now, early Sunday, before sunrise, when most of you probably won't be out, we will have some downpours in the area. And then we'll kind of go through a drier lull Sunday afternoon, and then Sunday night, that's when that front moves through, key time, and we'll have the storms entering into our region. Then Monday, looking like we will have a pretty good shot at seeing some showers. Kind of think of it as the front RA move through, it's residual rain, nuisance rain, you're on your way to work, school, whatever it may be, and you're getting hit with a few scattered showers. So we want you to be prepared for that. Not necessarily severe weather. If we do see any storms, it would be Sunday night. So walking through Futurecast here, let's check it out. Here we go. This is our in-house model. This is tonight at 11 p.m. We also have a small window where we could see 10% shot of rain, meaning that not everybody is going to see this. A downpour not out of the question, but it would be very isolated and fairly short-lived. And that's really driven by all the warmer, more humid air. Then here we are Saturday morning. So we actually did bump up our weather impact alert for Saturday morning because there's a couple things going on Saturday morning, and we want you to have the umbrella around in case you're out with the kiddos or whatever it may be. Again, if this was the summertime, it likely wouldn't be as big of a deal because you would be expecting it. But when we're in a consecutive stretch of dry weather, and there's events going on, we want you to have the heads up. Okay, 5 a.m. Saturday. Moving forward into the afternoon, as I said here, rain will slow down. It will still be out there, but it's really going to be hit or miss Saturday afternoon. This is at 2 o'clock. Then we enter into Sunday timeline. This is Sunday very early, 3 a.m., and we could get a few significant pours out there, but most of you will likely be in bed at 3 a.m. I don't think many of you will be out. So no weather impact alert for that. But moving into 8 a.m. Sunday morning, again, maybe some isolated rain out there for our far southern areas. And then this is when the model starts to cut out. But Sunday afternoon, that's when it looks like that front will start to sink a little bit more southward, the one that's stuck up in the panhandle right now. And that's when the skies will finally open up, giving us the best opportunity to see that widespread rain across our region. So how much rain can we receive? This is the European model for the forecast rainfall, and this looks pretty promising over the next several days. Oops, just changed up on me. Hold on, let me get back to that. I think I have one from a different time. There we go. Sometimes we have multiple graphics for the same area. All right, so this has pulled back a little bit. I'm gonna try to adjust the timing on this, but moving into the next couple of days, some areas could have upwards of 2 inches of rain, and that'd be great, especially for places like Crystal River, because that would be our monthly rainfall totals kind of packaged into just a few consecutive days. Overall, I would expect about 1 inch of rainfall. This model honestly is pulled back from, and this happens sometimes when they're updating in the afternoon. But generally, I would say be on the lookout for 1 inch to 2 inches of rain, especially for areas north of Tampa. Because again, once that front sinks down, some of it will try to fizzle out. And places like Sarasota, Bradenton, areas south of Tampa, I'm saying aim more between a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain. Because as that front sinks down, some of it will lose a little bit of its power and oomph there. So just be aware of that. All right, I believe we're going to go to another quick break. Okay, break time. And then when we come back, we'll kind of wrap everything up with your 7-day forecast. And we'll also take a look at some temperatures across the country because some cold marks out there.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, welcome back. So kind of wrapping everything up here, checking out temperatures, you can really see that line where there's a temperature difference with the front, right? So that's what I was saying earlier. when you have that different air mass, you have the warmer air mass, cooler air mass, that is the classic. If you're somebody that's from outside Florida, you look for these fronts this time of the year, because what that does is give you the lift. We already have the moisture and the rising air. What we need is a little extra punch, and that front sinking through will help deliver more widespread rain come Sunday night, because that's when the front's moving through. But right now it's just warm and humid, and extending this map here, boy oh boy are they cold. They have some temperatures in the teens and in the lower 20s. I mean, and that's the actual air temperature. That's not factoring in any places that may be windier. I mean, look around the Great Lakes. They are sitting below freezing. There's several locations that are below freezing up there. Just trapped with that cold air. Back at home throughout the Northeast, yeah, 30 degrees. Ooh, yeah, no thank you. I'll take my 78 degree temperature. As we check out this upper level pattern that we have. So again, we've had high pressure basically in place, and that's sliding out. That front is going to move through. That's when we get all the rain. Here we are Monday going into Tuesday, and we really don't get that dip of cold air. Yes, it will be cooler on the back side of that front, but it's not really going to be a dramatic change. We'll just basically go back to those cooler mornings I'll show you on the 7-day forecast that are pretty pleasant for this time of the year. You need a little sweater in the morning, and then once you get into the afternoon, the sun's out and it feels nice and warm. All right, with the warmer air in place, I do want to mention this as well. I forgot to mention this earlier. Fog. We could see some fog, especially sea fog. We have the warmer Gulf temperatures as well as warmer temperatures over land, and just that mixing of the air. We could see a little bit of fog for Saturday morning. I want to roll through this through Saturday. There we are, 5:15, especially for areas south of I-4. That's our warmest locations, of course. And yeah, we could have reduced visibility throughout Saturday morning, starting around, well, it's really